We have more crazy theories from around the world sent in by you all that are going to make us rethink life. Thank you to Nori for the next couple of videos.
I will never eat anything out of a drive-thru again. After these files have came out and the shit that I have read, the shit that you have read, it made me start thinking about the seasonal McRib. So I did a little research about this frickin' McRib. It is singularly produced, solely produced in a factory called OSI in Chicago. Chicago produces a huge amount of these, but they're only around for a very limited time. With that being said, you can Google how much the FDA allows, percentage-wise, of human DNA to be found in commercial meats to be sold. The OSI plant, if you go to their website, during the 6-week period that they are selling the McRib sandwich, they go through 7 million pounds. They can have up to 6% human DNA in each patty. And that is perfectly legal. You can Google it. I ain't ever eating McDonald's ever again.
You will not have a mirror in the bedroom where you sleep anymore.
Why do you not like mirrors?
There are lots of reasons. When you look back at Victorian mourning period, specifically, you stop your clocks, you cover your mirrors. And why? Because you don't want the spirits to get trapped.
Trapped where?
In the mirror. It's believed it is a vortex, that things can come through and things can get trapped in. If you are in a dark room and you're looking in a mirror, if you look long enough, it is said that you can see things moving on the other side.
I've heard this.
And once you know that those things are there, they will notice you.
Oh.
I had a bed that had a mirror on the headboard. I laid down to go to sleep, but I woke up because something slapped me across the face. I was alone.
You think something from the mirror?
I mean, I don't know where else it would have come from. You let something slap you across the face and wake you up and find out.
Part of Schaumburg, Illinois. I'm dropping a name. And they redid this one part of all the streetlights, and they're completely purple.
Ooh, to see how the light affects people?
Well, I was with somebody with the poke, and I'm not kidding.
It glowed?
It glowed. Now they're gonna lie and say it's not true, but it was a fresh poke. There's also something called luciferase.
Oh, interesting name, huh?
Luciferase. These lights show up in different cities, and it's weird. I'm just saying.
Is that B-Rad? I didn't even recognize him. What? I seen the name and I was like, I know that name. That's B-Rad.
Don't we just say a bunch of things that we know that they'll never cover? Okay, ready, go. Trump Jr. didn't have any silverware in his house. No one thought that was weird?
Oh. Oh.
Are we still rolling? Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia put money into Disney, so just know there won't be any girl characters in the next Cars movie.
And he laughing.
Are we still rolling? This is wild. Why have so many presidents' chefs died? Weird.
Oh, we know that one.
Boy Scout of America, they renamed itself Scouting America. You know how else changed their name? Sean Combs. Just saying. Let's learn something in 2025. I can't believe you guys are still letting me go. This is amazing. I love CNN.
So what happened to her after she said this on live news? Because this is real news right here. Yeah, he was laughing. He was scared. They said that's Whitney Cummings. So she's a comedian. Okay. But still, for her to say that on there is... Okay. Yeah, they said she's a comedian, not a reporter.
Finish this lyric.
On the dot, I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets.
It's 7 o'clock. Usher is in his drop top.
Cruising the streets.
And is he A, cruising the streets?
Cruising the streets.
Or is he B, asking who's in the streets?
It's A.
Now, I know that this is ridiculous. I know that he has to be in on it, or this has to be a marketing ploy, because we all know what Usher was doing at 7 o'clock. There's no way. There's no
I know B
way,
is not the answer for some people.
Here's what he's saying, and it's Usher singing it.
7 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top, who's in the street?
Cap. There's no way that changed. There is no
He's lying.
way that changed. It is 7 o'clock. He's in a drop top.
Cruising.
And he is cruising the streets. He ain't looking for nobody in the streets. I don't know when this change.
He ain't finna play me.
I don't accept this change. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. No. There's too many dances. There's too many talks on the phone. There's just too much. I just love R&B too much
to accept that Usher
He ain't
was
finna play me.
asking who's in the streets at 7 o'clock in a drop top. I don't believe it. Let me know if you think this.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top cruising the streets. Why? Because he has a real pretty little thing that's waiting. Look, you're not gonna play me, Usher. One thing about me, I know some lyrics.
I'm not political, all right? I don't believe in Republican or Democrat because it's not in the Constitution. It's not in our Declaration of Independence. It's just American, one nation under. Whatever they do as one. The trick is to give us the illusion that there is a choice, that there is a separation, to keep us fighting over these things. These things right here. Keep us not talking about the fact that we're working harder. 5 generations now. We're working harder than our great-great-great-grandparents and our grandparents did, who had no education, who sent their first generations to college. We were on our way somewhere, and then something happened in the 50s. One of the big things I think that happened is they took the Bible out of school. People don't know, a lot of you young people don't even know the Bible was curriculum. And I'm not religious once again, but the Bible gives us a strong moral code
Yes, it
to live
does.
by. We were family. We were community. We knew our neighbors. Our children played outside, met new friends. Those new friends wanted to spend the night, and they had to ask their parents, and their parents became friends.
That's so
Today,
true.
Mom's in the park on fentanyl, and we think they give us this propaganda about it comes from China, it comes from here. They didn't want this stuff in this country, it wouldn't be here. This is a weapon against us. There is an attack on all of us, red, blue, conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. The American is under attack. Our dollar is buying a lot less, we're working a lot harder for it. We're losing our constitutional rights, whether you realize it or not, a lot through the technology that we're using today.
Facts.
You know, these.
That's interesting. Can you go more into that? I'm interested in what, like, maybe.
I actually wanted to hear what he had to say. I gotta find the whole video on that. But what I heard is that our fight is not carnal. We know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. It was actually something that popped up on my Pinterest today. Basically, the quote that had popped up on my feed today was, flesh and blood aren't battling you, demons are. And basically what that's trying to say is that, again, our war, our fighting, what we're battling with is not this. It is the principalities, the ruachs, the spirits, aka what that man was saying. It is a spiritual war.
It just go with everything. You can get baby oil on pizza. I done got it on pizza before. You taste it, you can't even hardly taste it. I done had baby oil all around my mouth before. I don't even know what's on there. It's just a baby oil type night. It's just baby oil. All right. Praise the baby oil.
Showed you in this music video they were eating kids. I thought this song was like about them talking about school, but no, it's talking about adrenochrome. That's why the kids have the weird faces, because they'll peel off the face of the kid and wear it and then scare the kid with their own face to suck adrenochrome. Listen, everyone thought I was crazy 10, 15 years ago when I talked about this stuff, but they had it in music videos right in front of your face, but we're too stupid to acknowledge the reality of what is right in front of us. It takes the Epstein files for people really to go, oh, I guess they are killing kids. Oh, I guess they are drinking blood. Oh, and all these people are still in office. All these people are still in power. When are we going to stand up and fight? There's little kids. Listen, if anybody deserves hell, it's the people doing these things to these kids. It's horrific. It's nasty, and I promise you there's a special place in hell for every person sucking adrenochrome out of these kids, abusing these kids, putting these kids in grinders and eating them. You think it's a joke? They clearly showed you in the music video. They show you right in front of your face, and people still don't believe it. Wake up to the truth, and if you want more of the truth, you better subscribe or follow right now.
Y'all check this out. Julian Bryant, recognized as an Epstein Island survivor, said that she witnessed Epstein shapeshift into a reptilian devil-like creature. Let's check this out.
Talk about that. So waking up in a lab, this was not on the island. This was in New Mexico.
On the island, I saw him shape.
Okay. in the bedroom. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll touch on this lab experience as well. So, can you explain what you mean by shape-shifting here? Well, when I was in the bedroom with him, because he used to take me into that small bedroom, and it was always dark and really cold, and then it was almost like when he was or something, like I looked at him and suddenly his face like grew like big like this, and then I saw these huge black eyes like this, and then a big mouth with this horrible tongue and like this sort of dragon horn stuff, which is like almost like the devil. Or,
I know a lot of you have a hard time believing that there's reptile beings controlling us, but it's really time for you to start waking up and smelling the coffee, because they've been here. They're using technology to blend in with us, as you guys can see up there, and they've been here. This is not new, people. This is new because you've been programmed and lied to your whole life. They gave you religion. They poison your food. They poison the air. They poison your mind. They're poisoning everything. They're lying about everything. Everything is like, honestly, like truly, from my heart, it's all a lie. And when you finally wake up and realize that there's the aliens that they tell you to look for in the sky are here controlling us. They've been. So wake the fuck up, people. Jeffrey Epstein maybe was never a human to begin with.
Are you serious? If you have elderly people, 60, 70 years old, completely healthy and fit, they get a colonoscopy, 3 days later they are dead because they poke a hole in the colon, the bacteria goes in, they're dead.
Man.
Women go to a mammography, they find something, then medical profession goes into with a needle biopsy and pokes into something that's there to save your life. A tumor is there to save your life. The body builds a bag to put all the toxins in that are in your body that try to you and stores them in your lymph nodes. So now they come and poke into the lymph node, and what will happen is they now spread the poison that the body is collecting for 10, 20 years in the entire body, and 12 days later, these women are dead. Also, a mammography, 50 pounds of pressure on a woman's breast. Imagine you have a lymph node, a pimple that's ready to burst.
Yeah.
So now you put 50 pounds of pressure on it, you burst it. To give the patient the cancer.
We're going to repeat this again. Look what's inside of this tumor. Just very cautiously look. Do you see that? It's full of parasites. The tumor is full of parasites. They are encapsulated. They are being rounded up by your body.
You can't do this.
So they don't run freely. That is what it's not going to kill you. Chemotherapy and radiation to try to kill parasites.
Comment the word join for the detailed early protocol for every disease.
How many of you know about the object in Greenland? A couple of you, okay. Well, for those of you that don't know, there is a spacecraft that has melted out of the ice in Greenland. As you know, the North Pole has melted completely. You can go from London to Moscow or to Russia by going over the North Pole now. All the ice cap is gone. The last place that has ice on it was Greenland. Greenland had a 18,000-foot ice cap on it. Well, the spacecraft that is anchored in the center of Greenland created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. It's a weather machine. It's 55 miles wide, 300 miles long, and 2 miles high. The people that lived in it were called the Mois. If you draw a straight line from the spacecraft to the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., through the Yucatan Peninsula Great Pyramid at Mitsubishi, it ends up on Easter Island where the Mois have been dug out of this dirt. The heads on Easter Island, well, 2 years ago they finally went ahead and they excavated, and they're all 65 to 85 foot people, full body carvings. And these were the people that lived in the spacecraft that was uncovered that's melting out of the ice in Greenland. So when you think we've been alone, these people have been up there for 50,000 years.
Dang.
The spacecraft is still active after 50,000 years. It has a 200-mile dampening field where no electrons can flow into it. In 1947, a B-52 bomber flew into that pattern, into the dampening field, when trying to fly between Maine and London. As a result of that, they lost power and crashed in Greenland. As they sent in rescue B-52 bombers to rescue them, they hit that same dampening field, but they veered off. They just ricocheted off of it. And by testing, trying to get to these guys, they were able to bring a circumference and find out that there was an object 200 miles to the center of this field. On the southwest corner of Greenland, there is a small community. It's the only community on the island of Greenland. That community is a military post, CIA, that uses a compressed air generator to operate diesel engines to run a caterpillar to run back and forth to 200 miles from the base to the object in Greenland. A lot of our technology comes from the reverse engineering out of the spacecraft. It is still functional and is still in operation. So it's pretty important what this thing is. All the nations worldwide are up there with the United Nations, and they're all acting, working together.
Epstein files, Selena Gomez was actually mentioned in an email by Epstein. What? Sorry, you would have had fun. He has decided on Selena Gomez. Now, this was a month before Selena Gomez had her almost fatal surgery. So a month before Epstein was emailing this. Theory is she did. So the theory goes, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Yeah. They actually had a kid.
Oh, this kind of makes sense. I heard
guess
about
who people
this.
speculated this right now?
Wait, hold on. I don't know.
Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah, Kourtney Kardashian. He looked like
looks
him.
like Justin. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Real talk. Do that look like Scott Disick to y'all? Is this supposed to, right? Because her and Travis Baker, whatever that man's name is, they don't got a kid together, do they? Because that looked like Justin Bieber to me.
Yeah, that's actually Justin and
Look at
Selena's
that.
kid. And what happened actually, because Justin and Selena had a kid together, the Illuminati wanted them to the kid, but Selena did not want to do that. She said, "Sacrifice me instead." Theory was she sacrificed herself, she died. And what we see now is a clone of Selena.
Oh my, that's mod.
So Justin Bieber, given in his
This
music,
truly makes
had
sense.
some lyrics that correlate. Can't even see that. Yo, Selena sees the clone Selena. Yo, that's not her. Obviously, this is like a theory. Yeah, this what? It's really, really interesting.
I really like their podcast because the stuff that they be saying makes so much sense. It scares me at times. Because when you think about it, Justin Bieber has a tattoo of Selena on his body, right? But the tattoo that he has of Selena has angel wings. You see what I mean? And then I just feel like she just doesn't look the same. I know people age, but she too young to be aging like that. If you guys seen the pictures, her eyebrows didn't even look the same. But that kid looks just like Justin Bieber. I'm about to pull up some pictures. Y'all, this is not Scott Disick's kid. It's not. That don't look nowhere near Scott. Justin, yes. Not no Scott Disick. Yeah, because that's not his son. That is, look, Rain Disick. I'm finna show y'all Scott Disick's son. His firstborn son looks just like him. I should have put children, but Mason? Yes. All day. Mason is his twin. Mason is his twin. This one? No. I don't care what nobody say. So that rumor or that theory, remember what that quote said? Conspiracy theories, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is that it takes 6 months to be revealed. This gonna come out, and I can't wait for it to be confirmed because I know that's Justin Bieber kid.
This man encountered a pastor who he claimed was a reptilian and shot him with 6 rounds. But what's crazy is that the pastor escaped from this relatively unharmed, returned to work only 2 weeks later, and was soon after elected to a prominent governmental position, even when he was shot 5 times in the torso and once in the head with hollow point rounds. Kyle Odom was a bright young college student who was even selected for a prestigious PhD program. According to his manifesto, he was harassed by a group of people who was allegedly able to give him spontaneous erections, play music in his mind, as well as harass him psychically. They seemed to always know where he was at all times and followed him everywhere. One day, he was summoned by them to go to a church where he met with a group of pastors who emitted a discomforting odor, which he described was a combination of both vinegar and reptile, at which point he knew he wasn't dealing with humans, but something extraterrestrial. He looked at the pastor and, for a split second, was able to see his true form. Here is his own sketch of what he saw. He described their eyes as huge and bulging. The eyelids were darker green, and the irises were yellowish brown, with slit pupil. Odom continued to state that these Martians are millions of years ahead of us in terms of technology, can make objects appear out of thin air, and blend in with the population by using human bodies and learning to mimic human behavior perfectly. He states that they have large farms of these humans, which they use as meat suits. Odom asserts that these beings, who hide behind the church, have infiltrated every level of society and essentially ruled the world. He also stated that because these Martians were so overconfident, they revealed to him a lot about them and their story. They told him that humans are a result of some genetic experiment and that other reptilians live on Mars, as well as inside the moon and Earth. What's interesting is that he states how these beings hide in churches, as that's the last place most people would expect. He also describes them as hyper-aggressive, hypersexual, and extremely fearful and paranoid. This is interesting because other whistleblowers such as Max Spears and Donald Marshall also described reptilian beings with these exact same characteristics. Researchers like Gary Wayne also describe how some seraphim and Nephilim likely had serpentine features and possessed psychic abilities, just like the beings in Odom's story. Interestingly, Odom in his manifesto provides a long list of prominent politicians who he claims are reptilians hiding in disguise.
Dang.
What's interesting is that he calls out Nancy Pelosi as one of these reptilians. I found this interesting considering that many years after this story, Pelosi was on air in an interview where she refers to herself and other politicians as, quote, cold-blooded and reptilian, which is an interesting choice of words to say the least. So what do you think? Was Kyle Odom onto something, or was he just having a schizophrenic breakdown?
I need to watch this.
It seems I have taken myself down a very large rabbit hole because I just came across a TikTok that said the Bible tells you how to heal yourself from all sickness and diseases, Matthew 17:21. So me, naturally the Bible reading obsession woman that I am, I turn to Matthew 17:21 to read it in the Bible that I read every day. It's not here.
What?
It goes from Matthew 17:20 to Matthew 17:22. 21's not in here. There's not a number 21 in here.
I'm a Bible collector. We're about to find out right now if there's any truth to this because I have plenty to check. So I already grabbed a few and opened them up. So what I'm interested in is like, who is the publisher and why is this happening? So all of these were purchased at Goodwill. This one is Gideon's and we're in 17 and there is a 21. Same thing with this one, same with the Gideons, and there is 17, 21, but this kind never comes out except by prayer and fasting. So those were yeses, but again by the same
They're taking that out?
printed by the same company. Now these are 3 of the other ones that I just grabbed. I haven't opened the other ones yet, but this one, see, I thought maybe it was a date thing, you know, maybe in like older versions it did have it and then newer versions, but some of these Bibles I have are pretty old, which means that if this was an intentional decision, this decision was made a long time ago to edit, remove, or hide that verse from the Bible. So let's see here, we are in 17 and it goes from 20 to 22.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Okay. This one was the Zondervan. Okay, next. Going into this one. NIV. 17. And we are looking for, we go from here, 20.
That is
22.
weird. I've never noticed that.
Next Bible.
But it's more things that's been removed from the like the text, so I'm not shocked.
20 to 22. What's going on?
So I think my question is now is like, some things cannot come out except by prayer and fasting. Is that somewhere else, like worded kind of either differently in another chapter of the Bible? I kind of like want to look that up. Like, okay, so they have it in other places, but let me see. Let me go to images. Because I'm like, for them to take that out, that's a very powerful scripture, because you can be doing all the praying in the world, but some demons do not come out except by prayer and fasting. So yeah, they're showing Matthew 17 and 21, but that's the scripture that they said was taken out. After prayer and fasting, the men laid their hands on them and sent them on their way. That one still is saying it, but it's not saying it the way Matthew 17:21 says it. That is very interesting because some ruachs cannot come out except by prayer and fasting. You have to do both. And we reacted to that video about the guy with the parasites and him explaining he had to do prayer and fasting to get those ruachs out of him. That was a couple reactions back. But yeah, some things have to come out by prayer and fasting. Fasting kills a lot of stuff. Fasting heals. Fasting will heal you. Fasting will show this flesh that food and all this other stuff doesn't control it. You have control over it. Fasting is it does a lot of things, but to miss that scripture, a lot of people would think man, I've been praying, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, but have you been fasting? So that's scary for them to take stuff out. But then again, they took out the Apocrypha. They took out Yahuwah and Yahusha's true names. It's so much stuff. So I'm not shocked. I'm really not shocked at this point. It's just interesting to see that they took that one out of all scriptures.
The Holy Spirit, by this sign of the Holy Cross of our Lord
Not the
Jesus
Exorcist.
Christ, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. David! Look down and pity. You killed your mother! You killed your mother! You killed
You gotta stop watching them type of movies because they really do have demonic forces and stuff. They really be doing demonic activity in those movies and it's projected. So when you see it, it's like being a part of it. So stay away from those movies because they be doing extras just to bring out the scariness, but really they playing with spirits. Keep playing with spirits, you're gonna be a spirit.
No, darling, step right up. The evil Mr. Krabs and his band of jolly mindless fools stalk bikini bottom by night for delicious victims. Then drag their lifeless bodies back to the kitchen and grind them into grinders.
You are a panic.
That's that new SpongeBob too.
Krabby Patties are people. They're people patties. You're eating people patties.
Not sure what would happen if you ate it though.
Somebody said, does McDonald's make anti-aging cream? Because they would be great at it. That was a 24-year-old burger. That burger might be older than some people watching on here. And that burger looked like it was made maybe a couple days ago. If that burger looks how it looks, imagine what that stuff looks like on our insides. Y'all seen when the CEO took the smallest bite of his burger and then came out and said he had a burger prior. No, you didn't. You just don't look. When I seen that, brightest day, I heard a drug dealer never consumes. The bag was in worse shape more than the burger and the fries. And then she had that burger in that box. There was no ants on it. There was no cockroaches on it. There was no bugs on it. They don't even want it.
First of all, why is there a band named I Am the World Trade Center? Second of all, why did they put out an album 2 months before the attacks on 9/11? And track 11 on the album is called September. Explain that one. I don't get this anymore. This is my driver. And do you know how long it takes to produce an album? Someone had to have known at least a year before. And to be so sneaky about it and make it into an album and profit off of some future hope that people will be like, dang, this band knew. What in the American consumerism? I don't get it.
Somebody mentioned that their following album title was The Cover Up.
People are wondering what the map looks like that I found in my encyclopedia. So let's find out. So I have 4 books in this collection of Funk and Wagnall's standard reference encyclopedias. This is the first one that I have gotten to look at. This was, I think, last touched in 1966. So let's get into the map. So, as you can see, this is, you know, the North Pole. And all around it is, you guessed it, Antarctica. This map has the North Pole as the mathematical center. From it, true distance to any part of the world can be measured. Such a projection shows to advantage the Great Circle routes used in navigation, which pass near the Arctic Circle. Polar projection maps are indispensable to a global-minded nation. So this is the World Mercator projection and all of its times. So a couple of things on this map that didn't make sense to me was that Antarctica was not labeled on here at all, but we know that the bottom is Antarctica because this is the Antarctic Circle that goes all the way around. So look at Antarctic Circle all the way around, and beyond the Antarctic Circle is Antarctica. If we're doing the world, we should include Antarctica. Why did it stop right here before it at 9? And all of these are not equal distance. This is A, and this is also A. They just overlap. So I took this map and I cut it up and I marked down the lines of the Arctic Circle, the equator, and the Antarctic Circle. Let's put this together. So you can see that A and Z are practically the same, you know, they have the same time. So when you put this map together, it looks like the first map that I showed you. And we know that the North Pole is in the middle of the Arctic Circle, which goes around here. All of the times are right, and we are surrounded by
Boats vanish beyond the horizon due to perspective and not the curvature of a round Earth, as demonstrated here with the white cap being the boat and the countertop being the flat Earth. And the camera will be at ground level, as you can see, the white cap in the bottom right corner. Now watch as we move it away. It disappears slowly, then it's totally gone out of your view. Doesn't mean it went over a round counter, does it? Just means it went out of your line of sight due to perspective. But as you can see here, if you zoom in with the camera, you're going to find that it pops right back into view, proving that it did not disappear due to curvature, but due to perspective, and boats do the same thing.
That's a great camera to be zooming in like that. I forgot what camera does that. I forgot if it was a Canon, a Sony.
First place I went to see what they were doing was Antarctica, because like I had to know, like, why is every president around the world all coming to Antarctica and yet there's a no-fly zone? So there's a couple things there. One, I did see a giant hole in Antarctica that was there. Later I found out that that goes to an inner Earth civilization.
Okay, pause real quick. Beardmore Glacier, that's what it's called. So it's like a massive hole, right?
Yeah, massive
I know
hole.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, many years later I went back to the hole to go into it to like check out, and I was like, like, what? They have like a sun down there? Like, it's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
So like an artificial sun?
It's an artificial sun.
I mean, China was doing that.
But really, like that time, so I was like maybe 19 years old, and I went to this underground Antarctic base. It looked like nothing from the outside. And so I went in, and this was the only remote view that I had until I tried the military style remote viewing, where I could feel the dampness. So I was going down this hallway, and it was a fully cement, like smooth carved cement, sort of rounded hallway. And there's all these like little rooms, and you can hear screaming. It wasn't very populated. And as I go into these rooms, I'm seeing these soldiers that were on these beds. Most of them were pretty deformed, but they looked like mutants, genetic experiments.
Sounds like.
There you go.
And so this was back in 2010 that I saw this, right? I didn't speak up until probably 2021 or 2022 about what I saw, because the obvious.
2010 wouldn't have been the good time to speak on it.
No, it would not have been. And so then I kind of asked the question, like, why are they doing these genetic sort of mutations and experiments, and they're not very good at it because a lot of these victims are in pain, like they just weren't functioning well. It felt like they were trying to create a super soldier. That was the vibe that I got. I'm floating down this hallway, right, investigating, and all of a sudden there's this giant man in his white light body, which would be an astral body or a remote body, but like large, like 6'3" probably. Before I could even clue into who this was or what he was doing there, he goes like this, and I get kicked out of the base. Kind of scary predicaments that I got myself into as a remote viewer, just not really knowing.
Right.
I went back to the Antarctic base just recently, probably in the last year, totally cleaned out, shut down.
How long ago was that first time that you did that?
2010.
So what's interesting about that is we've talked to another remote viewer, and she said the same thing. They're doing a lot of experiments like that. It's funny that all these remote viewers have the same kind of story, and now we're seeing it in the Epstein files, because in the Epstein files, he's talking about looking into time travel and mutants. And I think that the surface level is the trafficking stuff, but when you go deeper into it and what he was really into, bioengineering, eugenics, he was looking into time travel, he was looking into mutants, he was looking into all these different things.
I bet he was.
Now we see it.
I think the public is going to be looking at us a lot different now that the Epstein files have come out.
Yeah,
People
now
like
it's just
us.
investigative journalism.
Now we all don't sound so crazy.
Now we don't sound so crazy.
I was looking at her because we reacted to that girl before. I know her name is Elizabeth April. I just don't remember what I reacted. It was something that we reacted to, and she was in it, and I'm trying to figure out what was it that popped off where it popped up on this feed. I cannot remember. If y'all can remember, let me know.
Zombie apocalypse wasn't exactly on my bingo card for this year, but look at this video and tell me what you think.
CDC was telling the truth and actually tried to tell us.
A scientist who is intimately familiar with a zombie infection. He studied both the pre- and post-mortem zombie condition before PD. He has identified and named the virus, Cryptonecrophagia vulgaris, CNV. It's a retrovirus, and there's no cure. This scientist's notes indicate prions may also be involved in the infectious process. However, at this point, it remains unclear what, if any, role they play. Remember the single live subject I mentioned earlier? Unfortunately, the subject and scientist are one and the same. We do not know how much time he has left before he's no longer of any use, except perhaps for dissection. So we need more live specimens. Keep that in mind during operations. Problem number 4, mode of transmission, currently unknown. Transmission modes ruled out: bites, scratches, casual contact, vector infection. Some Z team members can attest to the fact that bites and scratches don't spread infection, at least not yet. To date, 12 team members have been wounded while engaged in field operations. They've undergone mandatory 90-day quarantine. None have showed any signs of infection. Not all team members are out of quarantine yet, but we hope they'll be released and return to active duty soon. Problem number 5. Emerging public awareness of the situation. I'm going to mention each of these points, then talk about them in greater detail. Then there's the Miami incident, some of you were there. The CDC Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness Release. DHS released a fake zombie preparedness story. Then there's the recent purchases of large quantities of ammunition. About the Coconut Grove fly-in, Z Teams 1, 2, and 3 cleaned down a zombie cell. That got a lot of public attention. Our cover story was that this was an urban assault exercise in preparation for the upcoming UN meeting. For now, our cover story is holding. but one got away. That led to the Miami incident.
Dang.
That should never have happened. About the Miami incident. Some of you were there. Our cover story was bath salts. That was blown when the autopsy results were leaked. There were no bath salts present. We're still dealing with the fallout, and we're investigating the leak. The CDC Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness release, it was sent out against our wishes.
That's lit.
Wait a minute.
How?
That made no sense at all. I need to find this man and learn the truth. So should I stay or should I go? Okay, so we made it to Portland, except there's one small problem. I have no idea where to find this guy. Everything online says that he just hangs out inside of a bookstore in Portland. To the bookstore we go. Well, I found the bookstore. Now I just gotta go find him.
You better hope he's there.
Oh, there he is. Hey, you're a magician, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? You can make something levitate right now.
You bet I can.
How?
What? I got a $100 bill. Can you make that levitate? That is insane. So for 20 years, you've been brightening people's days.
I try.
If you have one message to give to the world right now, what would you have to say?
Make people smile.
All right, man. Well, we have a donation for you. We got $600 for you, man.
Good looking out.
Oh, man.
You guys are making prayers come true, man.
I really thought we was gonna learn how to do that, but maybe another video.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it? Here it is, the Big Arch. I'm gonna do a taste testing right now of this product, but I'm also gonna eat it for my lunch. Just so that you guys know.
Right.
I'm not actually gonna eat it for my lunch. I just need them to think I'm going to.
Sir, we're still rolling.
Oh.
Chill out.
Hello. Here we go. Oh, wow. Holy moly. That's a big burger. I don't even know how to attack it. There's just so much going on with it.
What was that, sir?
I don't want to do this.
It was the board's decision.
Okay.
This is funny.
All right, moment of truth. That is so good. That is a big bite right there. This is a delicious product. Less pain? Okay. This is a delicious product. Look like I'm enjoying it. Have you had this? This is a delicious product. That felt right. You could still see the pain in my eyes? Well, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my fabulous lunch. Big Arch, if you can find it, get it.
And cut.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a funny video. The way she bit into that burger. Do y'all remember that episode with Squidward where he was trying to bite the burger and it took everything, like he bit it with his teeth? I'm gonna pull up the picture for y'all, but that's what that reminded me of. And then it was emphasis on the product. The product, because that's what it is. It's a product. Thank you, Hector, for the videos.
Men did not want women's liberation.
What?
Yes, everybody assumes and believes that women kind of looked around in the 19th century and they went, you know, we're oppressed. We don't have any rights. I wish I could work. I wish I could get away from my bastard husband who drinks and beats me. And they marched and they picketed until they had voting rights and equality in the workplace. That's the story everyone's heard, and it's not correct at all. In fact, it's the opposite. So we had this big fight in the late 1800s between pro-suffrage groups and anti-suffrage groups. Most women in the United States and England, they far outnumbered by joining the anti-suffrage groups. They were very much against it. And these groups would debate, and women didn't want it. They thought they had a lot of great things going on already that were going to get ruined by suffrage. Only men could be held responsible for debt. There was something called breadwinner laws that said, look, women have to raise kids and be pregnant and have babies. So we have to hold men responsible for financially taking care of women and children. So women couldn't be thrown into a debtor's prison. They couldn't be held legally liable for repaying a loan or anything like that. The anti-suffragists said, you're going to see a lot of divorce. You're going to see broken up families because it's going to pit husband and wife against each other. Political interests will be used to drive a wedge between men and women and break up families. And then we're all going to be a bunch of single moms. We're all going to have to work. Like they literally predicted that.
Women are not going to be receptive to this. Their whole identity has been built from this feminism.
Man, it says double wages equals double the taxes. The government wanted women to go to work to get more taxes. That's really what the goal was about.
There's a game people say relate to Jeffrey Epstein. Do you remember this game, Bioshock?
I've heard of it, yeah.
The whole game is about like these really rich Americans specifically. They live in an underwater world. Now, all of the monsters they fight are girls.
You're lying.
There's a machine in the game that reveals fortunes. And it's called Epstein the Swami. And look what it looks like.
Chill out.
You know what I'm saying though? You pretty much talk to it and it will give you like quotes. These are some of the quotes it says. Darling, just close your eyes and hope it's over quickly. Another one, look at the bright side. Maybe it'll be quick and painless.
Thank you, Mont Jones, for the videos.
A young girl named Jada West died injuries from a fight that reportedly took place at a bus stop, and the tragedy is now sparking outrage and renewed conversations about bullying. According to accounts circulating online, Jada's family had recently moved into the neighborhood, and she began riding the school bus in the area. Reports claim she had been dealing with ongoing bullying from the same group of girls for several months. On the day of the incident, the situation allegedly escalated when multiple students got off the bus at the same stop as Jada. What followed was a confrontation that reportedly turned physical. After the fight, Jada suffered serious injuries and later passed away. Many people online have questioned how the situation unfolded and whether more could have been done to prevent it. Some have also debated the role of adults in supervising situations like bus stops and school transportation. At this stage, the full details of the incident and any potential charges remain under investigation. For many in the community, the focus is now on one painful reality: a young life has been lost. And the tragedy is a reminder of how serious the consequences of bullying can become. Rihanna is at the center of a frightening situation after a woman allegedly fired multiple gunshots at her home. A woman drove up to Rihanna's property and fired around 10 shots toward the house. One of those bullets is said to have penetrated the exterior wall of the residence, making the situation even more alarming. Authorities later detained the woman outside the property shortly after the incident, suggesting she did not attempt to flee the scene. At the time the shots were fired, Rihanna was inside the home. Fortunately, she was not physically harmed. However, the emotional impact of such a terrifying moment is difficult to ignore. Being inside a house while gunfire erupts outside, or worse, strikes the home itself, would be deeply disturbing for anyone. One of the biggest questions that remains unanswered right now involves Rihanna's family. Fans are particularly worried about whether her children or her partner, A$AP Rocky, were also inside the house when the shooting occurred. So far, there has been no confirmed information about whether anyone else was present at the time.
Lab-grown chocolate is coming to shelves in 2027. Oreo, Cadbury, and Toblerone are already funding the Israeli biotech producing it because a lab is cheaper than a farm.
Cadbury has been quietly replacing your chocolate every single year. This dairy milk isn't legal chocolate in 27 countries. The cocoa butter was replaced with vegetable fat, a cheap blend of 6 industrial oils. What remains is diluted with polyglycerol, then flavored with petroleum vanilla to mask the waxy taste. Soon, even that gets replaced. You'll be eating cells grown in a pharmaceutical tank. Exposé flagged lead and cadmium traces with an ultra-processing warning. Check my profile to download the app.
Thank you, Titan Slayer, for the videos.
They use shame and guilt to ensnare you into the Matrix. Think about it. If you don't want to participate in holidays, what happens? You get shamed. You get guilt tripped. Oh, you think you better than everybody else. Oh, why you don't want to participate in the holiday? Oh, you must not have nobody. It's like all this
All this stuff.
People start saying to you, right? If everybody watching sports and you don't want to, people be like, oh, you must be this, you must be that. Why you don't like sports? It's like, bro, they use shame and guilt.
No, that's so true. That's so true.
What they do, they shame and they guilt you into trying to make you accept politics. Because most people in society are agents for the Matrix. If you ain't participating in all the everyone else is, they're literally going to shame and guilt you to force you to conform. Because shame and guilt is two of the lowest vibrational frequencies you can exist on as a person, bro. Because most people are sheep. And once you see it, you can't unsee.
It's really that scripture of what's good is bad and what's bad is good. Because the stuff that you don't do because you know what's bad, the world looks at it as something's wrong with you when it's bad. The stuff that you do that's good, the world looks at you like, what are you doing? So it's just crazy to see the brainwashing and the manipulation tactics that they have placed on us, because you don't celebrate holidays. Oh, you look that weird. But then when you look in the origin of holidays, it's like, we're not supposed to be celebrating that stuff to begin with, right? To not watch sports, to not smoke, to not drink, all these things that, you may have been doing before, and then you stop. The world looks at you like, oh, you think you better than us. You think you this, you think you that. No, we just woke up to the truth and realized that's not it. And we're just not moving moving in that way, or just doing or condoning in X, Y, and Z. But they're making it seem like we're bad because we're no longer doing the bad things. That's why that scripture is so powerful, because what's good is bad and what's bad is good. We're trying to do what Yahuwah is telling us to do, but we're shunned and we're shamed and we're looked down upon, and we have this better than mentality look on us, when in reality, we're just trying to change and live our lives for the Most High. And then you got the people that can just do whatever, that's living however they want, and then they're looked at as like idols. They're looked at as influencers.
There is a brand new warning that is being issued to literally everybody right now, because Congress just introduced 12 new bills that would force you to scan your ID before you're ever even allowed to go online. So actively happening right now, there is a brand new package of 12 bipartisan bills that are moving through the House that would require identity verification just to be able to use the internet. They're being framed as child safety laws, but they're a little bit more in detail, and here's what they actually do. To verify somebody's age, a platform would have to verify who you are, obviously, so that means every single user would need to submit a passport, government ID, or credit card before being able to access any
credit
app.
card is
Your
crazy.
real official identity would be permanently linked to everything that you do online, so that includes every single post, every single search, and every single message. The problem that everybody's having and why this is getting so much attention right now is because nobody would ever be able to use the internet anonymous anymore. Everybody would know who you are. They're saying that there is no current way to build an age verification system without building a mass surveillance system. The Electronic Frontier Foundation has also been warning that these new laws would strip rights from the exact people that they claim to protect. And right now, these bills have enough votes to pass, so the question really is, what do you think about this?
I truly think that it's never about the children's safety. Y'all don't care. So I know it's much deeper than that. It has nothing to do with a child's safety. They don't care. Epstein Island and all them documents and files is proof that they don't care. So I think it's definitely something bigger and something deeper, and it definitely deals with a sense of control.
I think Ricky Hollowell just answered why it's illegal to talk to dolphins. So Ricky Hollowell just showed up and said he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build on the water in the ocean. What? But the more we learn about Ricky, the more his story is starting not to sound so crazy. So a little bit about Ricky's background. Ricky has a degree in MIT, and he worked for a decade at a company called Lockheed Martin, which I had to Google because I didn't know what the hell that was. Turns out that's an aerospace and defense program.
Yeah.
And he specializes in, advanced composite materials and submersive vehicles designed for deep sea exploration. Now, when Ricky left the hospital, it was concluded that he had no drugs, no alcohol in the system. He had no head trauma. He was, for lack of a better word, fine. But I'll tell you what they did find in this system. A routine X-ray and fluid examination found a trace amount of Gulf water in his lungs, specifically saline matching samples that are found 50 or 60 feet offshore.
Ooh.
Or they found microscopic samples of diatom and plankton residue. Now, you understand, this is not consistent with, brief drowning or aspiration swimming. This is almost like his lungs was exposed to a large amount of water for a long period of time. Almost like he was breathing water. There was no inflammation, there was no damage. And all this is coming from a professional analysis, not from me. Is this why they made it illegal for us to talk or interact with dolphins?
I didn't know it was illegal.
I don't know. There's got to be something though, right?
So when a big franchise corporation scam you, it's all right. But the average person log into your bank is the craziest thing, or hit a play on a bank institution. Look, this is a 5-pound potato. It weighs up to 3.5 pounds, bruh. That's not 5 pounds. That's what you call false advertisement.
So true.
And I'm pretty sure that's illegal, right? But who you finna take it up with? So he made sure he get his 5 pounds, right? And for everybody saying, oh, that's just one bag. I mean, that was a closed and sealed bag that was sold and ready for purchase. And probably you think all of them ain't like hit like that. It's probably a routine, bro. And somebody said, oh, well, it could be the name could just be 5 pounds. And I'm like, bro, if it's to the point where it's all that thin line finessing, bro, that's scamming. So they said, yeah, it could be illegal for a store like Walmart to advertise a weight like 5-pound potatoes if the product actually weighs significantly less. Products must match the label weight. When the food is sold by weight, the net weight on the package must be accurate. Stores are not allowed to mislabel the quantity. And somebody said, well, I mean, I don't know if you get a check off that shit, but technically it's illegal for that to be happening. Listen, bro, it ain't real potatoes. And shouldn't be at Walmart shopping for fruits and vegetables in no situation scenario. I don't care if you in the suburbs. I still don't go to Walmart. I can't go back.
Hey, do y'all not find it weird that a country with $35 trillion in debt is the one that's giving us a credit score?
Well, would you look at that? I got ended on that one. I'm sorry. I was gonna keep going. I gotta end it on that one because that is proof that money is an illusion. It is a man-made concept. Somebody even said they didn't even have credit scores until 1989. I believe it. I really do. Then it said, why are we paying taxes when it ain't even going to the debt, instead going to their pockets, making them millionaires or billionaires, I'm sorry, making them billionaires. And you don't have credit unless you're in debt. Ain't that crazy? I'm sorry. It just be stuff like that. That just be mind blowing. I ain't gonna lie. That was probably the perfect video to end that on. Y'all, the earphones is out, so y'all know what that means. The video is done and over. Try to make this one as long and lengthy as possible, even though the edits and stuff might make it short. But I'm telling y'all right now, at the recording of this video, we're at 1 hour and 17 minutes. I be trying to tell y'all my videos be long, but some stuff does not make it to the cut because either they were talking about like new age stuff or just stuff that just didn't fit in like with the context of theories, or Yahuwah placed on my mind, cut it. So I'm just letting y'all know on why some videos don't make the cut. And like, how can your videos be 1 hour and 18, 1 hour 17 minutes, but when you upload they're like this amount of minutes? Because some stuff just doesn't make the cut. I'm just being honest. But I ain't gonna lie, that video, that was the one for me. That was the one. But shout out to all of you guys that sent them videos. I truly appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much for all the content that you guys have been showing. I've been learning a lot. Told y'all, from a girl that don't be on the news, y'all be filling me in on stuff that I'm like, I didn't even know that was happening, or I didn't get the scoop, or I just didn't get the part 2 to the part 1. So just thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys do. If you guys want your video featured on here along with the shout out, all you have to do is join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. And there you can upload your theories, and that's how I'll see them and react to them, and that's how they'll be on the big screen. So shout out to all you guys and those that have been dropping. I truly appreciate it. We're on the road to 900,000 people. You guys, we are so close. We're so close. We are so close, y'all. When I tell you, I'm talking about like 2,000 subscribers away. 2,000. But all esteem, all praises, all honor to our Saba Yahuwah and our Abba, our Adoni, Yahusha Hamashiach, for just blessing me, for allowing me to be a steward over what they rightfully own, for allowing me to be a vessel that they work in and through. So I have to give credit and honor where it's due, and that is to the creator of all creation. So just have to let that be known, who I give all my esteem to, because I'm not doing anything. They are completely doing the work in and through me. The light that y'all see, I pray it be a reflection back up to them. So just all esteem, all praises going to Yahuwah and Yahusha. I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys show on a continual basis, whether that's liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, shopping the merch, which is shopperkyy.com. Link is in the description down below. Make sure to go check it out. For those that are going to be purchasing or have purchased, please send your picture my way so I can feature you on the website. You don't believe me? Go to shopperkyy.com and see all the people that took lovely photos and sent them my way, and I was able to feature it on the website. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I got some more stuff to do. But y'all know me. Y'all have a blessed one. I will see you on the next one. Shalom. Shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my soul. I know my worth.